Hey, welcome back to session 2 of this thing that we're calling Gaetano's University. We are learning how to be a contributing worker. Session 2 is all about how does this whole thing called business actually work? I've been a student in high school, I've been a student in college, and I'm just now entering into the workforce, and I'm trying to learn how to be a good worker, but I'm thinking that a good worker really is just pretty much hanging out with buddies and having a good time. But for some reason, that doesn't tend to get me promoted. It doesn't help me make more money. So how do I need to begin to think when I move into the business world? We have a wonderful panel right here that we're going to be talking with today, several employees from Gaetano's University, as we are moving and learning more and more about how to be a contributing worker. So welcome you guys. We're going to dive into this thing. And as always, my name is Clay Staires with the Leadership Initiative. It's going to be a nice time as we spend the next several minutes together. So here we go. We're on page 8 in our workbook. Title of this session is How Do Businesses Work? Which is a key thing. It's all about the bottom line. Now you guys, you need to understand, I was a school teacher for 15 years, okay? Teaching school, I was a science teacher and a coach. I didn't know jack squat about how businesses worked, okay? I didn't know anything. And then all of a sudden, I left the teaching world and I stepped into the corporate world, not as a worker, not as a manager, but I stepped right into the corporate world as a CEO of a company. And again, you're talking about a guy that didn't really know how business worked. All I knew is, hey, let's have fun, and I like teaching, and if I can get surrounded by a whole bunch of people that like learning, we'll have a really nice time, you know? I don't really know how to make money. I don't really know how to design systems, but I know how to inspire people. It was pretty much my main claim to fame. Does that make sense? So as we start today into this class talking about how businesses work, this is going to be a very basic introduction into how businesses work. This isn't the master's, the MBA program. This is a very basic understanding, okay? But it's interesting because I have found many of the clients that I work with, people that have actually started their own company, knew about as much about business as I did coming out of school. And so even though you might not be a high school student, even though you might not be a college student, but you're the 50-year-old that already has your own company, you're probably going to be able to learn something from these very basic principles, because the way I'm going to be talking about it is coming from a school teacher who didn't know jack squat. All right? So we're going to be talking about it that way. Fair enough? Okay, good deal. So here we go. When we're young, we learn that meaning comes from relationships. This is what goes on at school. We go to school, we hang out with our buddies. How many of you guys have ever been in this spot before where you're with this group of people, all right, but you're looking over at that group of people and you're going, I kind of want to be over with that group of people. Anybody know what I'm talking about? You know? And you're going, because when we are in school for all of those formative years, when we're in school, we find that there is real meaning and value with the people that I'm hanging out with, right? I mean, it's just a natural thing, and it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. In these early experiences, we learn that the value is in the relationship, and the way to add value to the relationship is to spend more time with those people. What are you doing this weekend? I don't know. What are you doing? I don't know. Want to hang out? Sure. Where do you want to hang out? I don't care. Where do you want to hang out? See, does that sound familiar to anybody? You know, it's just, I don't care what we do. We can just get together and hang out. And then you get together and hang out, and as long as getting together and hanging out is relaxing, as long as it's fun, as long as it's enjoyable, then we come away from that experience going, had a good time. That's a valuable experience. Does anybody know what I'm talking about here? You know, that was a valuable experience. I had fun, I enjoyed it, and it was relaxing. So again, all of these formative years, this is what I'm learning about value. This is how I add value in the world, is I create relationships that are fun, enjoyable, and relaxing. Is that fair enough? We okay with that kind of boundary, or kind of how we have been taught, how we have been learned? But it's interesting because the focus is on fun, enjoyable, and relaxed. As soon as somebody in the group, Reuben, you probably know what I'm talking about here, somebody in the group starts like putting some pressure to actually do something. It's like, dude, slow down. We're just hanging. I'm working on my score on the video game here. I'm producing type of thing. As soon as somebody tries to put some pressure, do you think maybe we should go like do something for someone? Should we go help somebody? Or do you think it's like, oh, slow down, it's a little much. We're kind of having too much fun just sitting and hanging out. You guys, the business world is completely different than that. The business world has a completely different value system, okay? And if we're not careful, we won't understand that value system. My daughter right now is graduating this summer from college. So in the fall, she is going to be looking for that job. Actually right now, she's starting to look for that job. She's got some buddies that live in Austin, Texas. And so where do you think she would like to move as soon as she graduates from Texas? Anybody? Anyone? Austin, Texas. Why does she want to move to Austin, Texas? Because her friends are there. You guys are doing a wonderful job answering over here. I like that, kind of throwing your voice over here to Carrie. But she wants to move to Austin because that's where her friends are. Again, she is full on in the chokehold of value is in relationships. It doesn't matter that BMW has offered her a job in California. It doesn't matter that MTV has offered her a job in New York City. I want to go to Austin where nobody has offered me a job because that's where my friends are going. Does that make sense? Because that's where her value is. So she and I are actually, can you imagine being my child? We're always in this conversation. But so she and I have entered into these conversations on, honey, you are now transitioning into the marketplace. It's time for you to begin to think differently on what to value. She's even, Dad, I'll go to Austin and I'll get a job at Whole Foods, so it's good. No, you won't. You won't get a job at Whole Foods because that's what you're doing now. You got a degree so you could do something more. You got a degree so you could enter into a career, not just enter into another job. Is that fair enough? So you can get a great head start on things even at a young age if you begin to think using the value systems of the marketplace. Now again, it doesn't mean I'm not hanging out with my buddies anymore, okay? I'm not interested in fun, enjoyable, and relaxed anymore, okay? It's not that. It's not that at all. But when it comes to thinking about work, when it comes to thinking about your job and adding value at work, I just want you to know, your boss doesn't care if you're having fun. Your boss doesn't care if you are enjoying yourself. Your boss is not interested at all in you relaxing. Your boss wants you to produce results. Everybody say produce results. Produce results. Okay, no, you didn't say, okay, produce results. One more time. Everybody together. Produce results. Produce results. Okay? That is the value system in the marketplace. Produce results. And what is the result? Any idea? What is the result that in the business world, businesses want to produce? What is the result? Money. It's got to be money. If you're not producing money, you're not going to be in business very long. That's why we have this here, just a handful of companies that I'm sure were wonderful companies. I mean, they were icons in America. And I'm sure that there were wonderful, wonderful people that worked there that had great relationships. That I imagine there's probably even a percentage of them that woke up every day going, oh, I can't wait to go to work. I just love the people. I just have so much fun with them. I just enjoy being with them. It's just great to relax with them. But unfortunately, the marketplace did not hold those same values. The marketplace can be extremely demanding. The marketplace can be extremely fickle. We have to produce. And so over time, Amoco. Does anybody by any chance remember Amoco oil? This is something I was very familiar with. Well, yeah, it was the gas stations and stuff like that. But how about Circuit City? Is that a little something? You guys might recognize Circuit City. Blockbuster. Okay, we're probably familiar with that. American Apparel. That might be something you're familiar with if you're younger. Borders Books. Are you kidding? I love Borders Books. I love that place. But the market kicked their butt out. Why did the marketplace do that? Any idea? Why did the marketplace kick them out?
They weren't making enough money.
They weren't making enough money. And in the marketplace, if you're not making money, you get judged. What is it? You have been judged and you have been found wanting. And you get kicked out. So businesses are in place to make money. We hire workers to produce results that make money for us. So again, that's very important for you guys. I want you to be thinking, and you guys too that are listening, I want you to be thinking, how can I help my company produce money? As opposed to where Reuben is every single day when he goes to work is, how can I come? I'm joking, of course. Okay, this is out there for the entire world to see. I just said Reuben, and now I'm sorry about that. But you're out there. I just won't say the last name. But so many employees are going to work, and their primary focus is, how long do I have to be here today? How long do I have to endure today to get the paycheck? I just really want the paycheck. I'm not really here to make the company big. I'm looking to make my checkbook big. Anybody know what I'm talking about? None of you do that, but you know what I'm talking about. All right? Know what I'm talking about. That's primarily the focus. You've got the business owner or the business managers over here that are saying, we need production, need production. And we've got the workers over here that are going, need the paycheck, need the paycheck. Need production, need the paycheck. And you get this tug of war going on. Does that make sense? You guys okay with that? And as a result, as we talked about last week, and we're getting ready to get into a little bit today as well, is there are almost 8 out of 10 of the American employees today are disengaged with work. Why are they disengaged with work? Is because they are there to make the paycheck, make the paycheck. And the managers are over here going, I need you to produce, I need you to produce. And they're going, that doesn't compute in my brain. I'm here to get a paycheck. Because they don't understand this basic principle of how businesses work. You've got to make money. You've got to make money. How many of you guys have ever been at a job? I'm sure not the job you are right now, but you've been at a job before where you're looking around and you're going, man, this business, this company is making a ton of money. Anybody been there before? They're making a ton of money. How come I'm only getting paid a little bit of money? Anybody know what I'm talking about? Man, I remember being in that spot when I was in school, when I was a teacher. You know, wait a minute, how come I'm not getting paid enough? We'll get into that here in just a moment. But once these guys were huge companies, but now they're gone. I'm sure that they had some very nice people working in their stores, but the marketplace didn't really care. How many of you guys, when I say the marketplace doesn't really care, Jessica, you're just kind of going, well, that's not fun. Can anybody relate to that? Man, Clay, you're kind of talking. It sounds like the marketplace is kind of a big bad place. Doesn't sound enjoyable. Does anybody relate to that? Yeah, man, it sounds like you got to like really get after it. You can't just go and relax and hang out. That's true. That's true. I've got you guys. I have 7 different companies that I own. One of the companies that I own is an insurance company. I have hired a guy to be the primary manager. He's the face. He's the guy that does all the insurance things. You know? I told him when I hired him, his name is Newt. Hi, Newt. Here's what I told him, Reuben. Newt, do you like to have fun? Yes, I like to have fun. I told him, I love to have fun. I love to have fun. In fact, fun, it drives me. I love it. He goes, cool, me too. And I go, but let me give you my definition of fun. My definition of fun is making money. What's your definition of fun? And he looked at me and I could see the computer going in his head. And he goes, making money? And I went, exactly. If your definition of fun is making money, we're going to have a great time. But if your definition of fun is hanging out and being relaxed and kind of doing what you want to do, but not necessarily having to do stuff, then this isn't going to work at all. But if your definition of fun is my definition of fun, we're going to have a great time together. He got on board with that. Things are going really well. He's making money. I'm having fun. He's having fun. We're both making money. It's all working out. Is that fair enough? Okay, so you've got to just define what that definition of fun is going to be. As we start into this lesson on how businesses work, it's important to begin with some basic definitions. Now again, I know that these definitions are going to be very simple and very basic. But I'm doing it on purpose. Again, this isn't some MBA program. This is a basic class on how to be a good worker. So we need to identify some of these terms so we get a basic idea of how business works, okay?